We live in a time where NASCAR is looking to use AI to help fan experience or something to that matter. Kyle Larson is testing an IndyCar at Phoenix Raceway, and cable is back, baby. Not technically, but there is a new deal like that literally just happened minutes ago or got leaked minutes ago that Fox Sports, ESPN, and TNT Sports could all come together for a deal to be under one single streaming service. You get what I'm saying? But yes, I don't even know where to start on this. I guess we could go to the breaking news, because it's so funny because we've moved into this era of streaming. We've gone away from cable, or we're in that transition period, really. NASCAR announces their new media rights deal with Amazon, with TNT, Fox, and NBC. And, well, a couple of those are involved in this new deal where Fox, Warner Brothers, and Disney are all set to launch a new sports streaming joint venture in the fall. That's cable. I mean, seriously, cable, you pay a certain amount, you get a certain amount of channels, you get this many channels, or you got to pay extra for these channels. And that sounds like what this is literally going to be. Am I crazy? But I mean, I'm not baffled at the deal or anything. It's hilarious. We went from cable and then we transitioned and are in the transitioning period of moving over to streaming, the majority of people. And now we're going back to cable, but just in a different form. It's confusing. I don't think this affects the NASCAR media rights deal in any way, shape, or form. Just would be the way that they're shown, maybe, or another option to watch it. But yeah, I mean, 2 minutes before I started recording, I saw that, thought it was interesting. I knew that NASCAR's partners were involved and thought I should inform you, the people. As for the next topic, Kyle Larson, the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion, will be running in the 2024 Indianapolis 500. He will be attempting the double, which of course is the Coca-Cola 600 and the Indianapolis 500. So 1,100 miles in one day. I think it's only been done a couple of times. Tony Stewart, and maybe he's it. I know Kurt Busch tried it back in, I want to say 2014, maybe it was 2013. But about a decade ago. But Kyle Larson, the biggest name really since then to try so. Kyle Busch has wanted to do it, but hasn't. Jeff Gordon had wanted to do it, but hasn't. Jimmy Johnson did half of the double. He's done the 600 numerous times. He's done the Indianapolis 500 a couple of times, but ultimately did not do the double. But Kyle Larson is looking to accept the challenge and go at all 1,100 miles. He did a test yesterday and into the evening at Phoenix Raceway. Of course, Phoenix is a very different track than Indianapolis. It's about 1.5 miles shorter. The turns are much different, but Kyle Larson, did some interview clips, talked to NASCAR media, IndyCar media, about some of the things that they were trying to do. He explains it. There are videos out there you can find, but he kind of says, we just wanted to test some different things, get him some more laps in the IndyCar to get him comfortable, set up things, and then also just to get him more familiar with the braking and kind of lifting and what it's like to do that, steering, and all those small things that are very important. And then it says that he did 172 laps at Phoenix Raceway. He talked about how the car got progressively tighter throughout the test. He said that they were making adjustments. Sometimes they wouldn't tell him just to see how he reacted to certain changes without, him knowing it. So they did a variety of things with Kyle Larson in this test to get him ready for the Indianapolis 500. Now, once again, this is not Indianapolis. It's not a track anywhere close to Indianapolis in terms of the style, but just to get Larson some more laps in an IndyCar around an oval track is something, he's going to want to do. Now, I don't know much about IndyCar. I watch the Indy 500 every year, maybe a couple other races. But for the most part, obviously, I think most of us know that car is completely different than the NASCAR Cup Series car. It's much lighter. It's much faster. It's got a lot more power behind it. So it's a completely different car that Larson is going to have to learn. He's run a couple of tests already. He ran one at Indianapolis, the rookie test, a couple of months ago. He's going to do one more final test, I think, in April, and then the month of May will hit, and that is the big deal for the Indianapolis 500. That's when All the practices, the qualifying, all that is run in the month of May. And then finally, Memorial Day Sunday, we get the Indianapolis 500. So Kyle Larson, he's got to qualify for the race. He's got to do all this testing and stuff. But Kyle Larson has done yet another Indianapolis 500 test, but this time at Phoenix Raceway. Phoenix has not been on the IndyCar calendar for quite a while. Obviously, Larson himself is familiar with Phoenix as he has raced there many times in NASCAR and won his one championship there. And then another thing Larson talked about, I forgot to mention this, is, he talked about having a moment with the car, and that being, where not a good moment like, ooh, I hit that corner really good. We just had a moment together, car. More like a bad moment. He talked about how he kind of lost the car. I think he said turn 4, NASCAR turn 4. So, coming off into the dog leg, he talked about how he had a bit of a moment, lost the car there. He did not wreck it, but he said it was good to know what it's like to have a big moment, to know how you can save the car, just something like that, because you don't want it to be Indy 500 Sunday. You lose the car for the first time, you lose a little grip, slip up the track, something like that, and then, you overcorrect, overreact, you wreck. So, he kind of talked about how that was a good experience to have that big moment, but he said throughout the day he also had little small moments, and it was good to have some preparation in a sense to have those moments. Now, next up, I got to be just completely honest with you. This is not my strength of knowledge, because technology confuses me sometimes. Especially AI. If anything, AI terrifies me. The thought of AI predicting the future, the robots taking over, that whole thing. Okay, I don't actually think the robots are taking over unless they're listening to me. Do what you want, robots. Just please don't hurt me. We're getting sidetracked. Anyways, AI has become a big thing recently. I know it's always been talked about. It's been, in science and data and all this, but it's become more commonly used. People use AI to write scripts. People use AI to write their homework. People use AI to write text messages. They use it for whatever they want to do it. Or sometimes, oh, I'm bored. I'm going to go online, find an AI website and have it write me a dumb story. Things like that. But NASCAR has looked about doing a study to figure out how they can use AI in a positive way for them. This article talks a little bit about how maybe this AI could help them enhance fan experience. It talks about how some teams are already using AI to help with pit stops, pit strategies, things like that, calculations. So once again, in conclusion, I'm not too familiar with AI and how it works, but it's become more common, it's become more popular, it's become more used. And so now NASCAR is looking at using it in a sense to help, maybe in one way to use it, enhance fan experience, whether that's at track or at home, the mobile app. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be, but NASCAR using AI, that's it's quite the thought. As for everything else, I don't have anything else. I thought there was more. I thought there was something else. I think all the other news is F1 related. F1 news has gone crazy the last week, just absolutely absurd. Something about Sauber and Stake, something lawsuit. I don't really know. But yeah, so thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. NASCAR news has been a little bit more tame than the F1 news. There could be more news this week on F1. As for NASCAR, we get the Daytona 500 in about a week and a half. But this Sunday, you will get to see my full season preview and predictions for the NASCAR Cup Series. I'm going to give you my championship, my Daytona 500 pick, my Indianapolis pick, my, what are the other majors? The Coca-Cola 600, the Southern 500. I'm going to tell you all my picks. I'm going to tell you all 16 playoff drivers that I have. And then once again, I'm going to tell you who my champion is. So thanks again for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Looking forward to releasing that video on Sunday. I will see you guys in the next video, whenever it may be.